this tradition started a while ago, but it actually started when I was an assistant director. I had a really good group of seniors. I don't remember the year exactly, but I was assistant band director, and I wanted to recognize those seniors and all their hard work. So I kind of came up with this word or phrase that I would remember that student by. And at the end of the year, the spring concert, I would bring up those students and give them a word. And I turned into the directors thinking about it and what word comes to mind. Obviously the positive ones is the one that we want to share. All of these students, obviously, it's really cool to see students grow from freshman year to senior to graduate college to become band directors. I see a couple of students up there at the very top that are now teaching band. And I remember all that. And it's just, you know how it is as parents. Your kid, you love them to death, but they drive you completely insane sometimes and do some goofy and dumb things, but you still love them. And that's kind of how I feel about a lot of our students, and I wish them the best. So what we're going to do is pretty much before each band's last piece that they're going to play, we'll go ahead and bring up the seniors and recognize those students. So let's go ahead and bring up Miss Summer. Yes. A lot of her that comes to mind, and thinking of Summer, she is always there, always present. She is always working hard. 9 times out of 10, she has a smile on her face, and she tries very hard and does a great job and has a great attitude. Never fussing about anything, at least out loud to us. I'm sure behind the scenes is different, but the word that comes to mind is pleasant. Thank you so much. Can we please bring up Miss Jackie Suarez? So as I go through, there's obviously very vocal students that come knocking on my door all the time and want to talk about something. Then there's non-vocal students that just never say a word their entire time here. And Jackie, we haven't spoken too many words together, but I was walking in the hallway. It wasn't that long ago, and she was drawing. And there's so many students that have artistic abilities. And my daughter draws really well. I don't know where she got that from, but it's really cool. And there's several students in here, and I'm going, wow, this person is really talented artist. And of course, she also won this year's Battle of the Flowers magazine cover. I know she has great things ahead of her, and what I think of is she's an artist, and thank you so much.
So I did it a little bit differently. When I tried to think, I have about 9 percussionists, and I was trying to think of 9 words that could really capture how I feel about them. And I realized that probably 1 word per kid isn't enough, so sometimes the kids have multiple words. First up will be Kyle Crucius. Please come. Kyle has been just a huge help this year. Kyle knows more about our electronic system and marching band than I do. And whenever there was troubles in the stadium, a lot of times I would just go up to him and ask, hey, do you know how to fix that? And he always did it. He always knew how to do it. He was super instrumental the final week of BOA. He covered, many people don't know this, he covered 2 synth parts by himself. And he learned it that week, and that's all the sound patches, both piano parts simultaneously. He stacked 2 pianos on top of each other, and he really helped cover that part. And if you're in the ER and there's a piano out, you're going to hear how often Kyle really likes playing every song he possibly knows. So his words are cover band. Next up with Aaron Cowles, please join us. So Aaron is one of those kids I've known for a few years. I didn't exactly teach him the first couple of years I was here as a tech, but I've always known him as the kid that I've just always been happy to see, right? I know he was in football, and that takes a lot. I definitely couldn't play football, but I know he's literally been torn apart by doing football and band at the same time with his multiple surgeries, literally being torn apart. But when I give him feedback, there's no one more positive about receiving feedback, and he's just like, yeah, I'll do it. And so when I think of Aaron, I think of the word indestructible. Lastly, Alejandro Molina, please join us on stage. So with Alejandro, there's a running joke in the profession that I can never find this kid where he's supposed to be. Whether it's in my class or another class, and it was even, kind of painted on my car one day. The words I could think of for Alejandro were, where is he?
With these words or phrases, but when Eliza's name came up, one word comes to mind, and it can be a word from all of us at the same time, but when we think of Eliza, we think of a very important role that she played at the end of our last show. So this is our Dorothy. Also in the same show, there was a very important role at the beginning of the show, and that was the tornado. So Erica was our tornado at the beginning of the last show. Maddie, let's step forward. Maddie likes to hide, but I'm going to tell you a secret about Maddie. Maddie is a super terrific performer. She also always knows all the answers. So she likes to hide in the back, and she hates it when I do this to her, but I know that she knows the counts, or the change, or the choreography, or where count 5 is, and she hates it when I do it, and I'm like, come up here, Maddie, come show us. So for me, Maddie is a diamond in the rough. People always say, that girl in the dark is so cute, how old is she? She's a senior. But here's what you need to know about Bella. She may be small, but she is mighty. So she spins the same size flag that we all spin, and she does it like flawlessly. So I love to tell the story about her, or go places when people are like, I need a shorter flag, I'm like, no you don't. I have a girl that's like this tall, who can get this out, so let's go. So for Bella, small but mighty. So do you ever know anybody that hears everything, like she's in the back corner, or pays attention to everything, or knows if you're clapping too fast or too slow, or knows if you want to change something, or nothing gets by Jordan, FYI. And the staff was always the first to bring that to my attention. So for Jordan, my word is perceptive, because she sees and hears and knows everything. And last but not least, our color guard, Captain Elena Donahue. About Elena, but I have never once worried about her, whether she had a solo, whether she had the first 30 seconds of the show, like she did in winter season. She never needed much warm-up. It was just like she could throw a rifle, catch it, nail it, she was good to go. I'd be like, Elena, you need to go over there and warm up? She's like, I'm good. I'm like, okay. And she was. So for Elena, she is reliable. We never worried about her. All of our color guard seniors, thank you for 4 years of dedication and hard work and everything that you put into the color guard here at Churchill High School. We will miss you dearly. Thank you.
to our senior recognition for the symphonic band. All right. First person up, Will Bandy. Come on up. So Will, we went round and round for years, and I was like, Will, can you just figure it out and stay focused and all these things? And we're thinking about putting him in leadership, and I'm telling these guys, I'm like, guys, I don't know if I can trust Will. Like, I just don't know. Like, he's kind of crazy. Like, but he has done an unbelievable job this year as a leader, and just his energy that he brings to rehearsals, his positive attitude, and his word is enthusiastic. And Kuklo, come on up. I'm going to be real honest with you, I had a lot of trouble coming up with a word for Ann and Clara because I thought about doing it together because they're always constantly together, they're twins. And I was like, they're so quiet, yet they work really, really hard, and sometimes I catch them in the quartermaster room when they're not supposed to be there, and they just kind of look at me innocently, and I'm like, oh, I can't get upset. I read along, and I'm like, oh, well, I guess they're there. I'm sure they're doing something that needs to be done. But word for Ann is quietly assertive. Thank you. Claire Kukula. Come on. Again, honestly, both of these words kind of could go either way with both of them. That they're both great, and again, they're always working, always staying busy in the quartermaster room. But when I think of both of them, and Claire, there is service, and thank you so much. We're going to have Caitlin Gillette to the front. This is kind of funny, but in a serious way. So a lot of times we'll get into second band rehearsal, and we're going, well, where's Caitlin? Where's Caitlin? She's not in her seat. We're starting rehearsal. Where the heck is she? And she's always in the library. She's been in the library in the past couple years. And she's always busy. Even when she's not busy, she finds something to be busy and do it in the library. So her word is busy bee. Amanda Cass, come on up. Amanda works really hard. Amanda, cares about the program, but she has this tough exterior, and she likes to walk around. She plays tuba, and she's like, nobody's gonna walk all over me. Nobody's gonna tell me what to do. Super, just independent. And I love that about her. But her service to the program and all of that, I think that she is strong-willed. Catherine Cass, come on up. Catherine Cass is really nice like everybody. At least that's what we see on the exterior. And we know that she's going and studying in environmental forestry. There it is, forestry. So I'm thinking something up on that line. But when I think of that, I know you got a bright future. You're an environmentalist. Thank you. Chris Kilgrew, come on up. Chris is the last Kilgrew to come through the program, and it was just really cool to see all of them go through the program, and he works really, really hard. He does his very best. He's always willing to help out in any way possible. The quartermaster room, whatever needs to be done, parents need help, I'll go lift that, I'll go help out. And he always does it to the beat of his own drum. And Chris is like, this is what I know I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. And he does it, and it doesn't matter what people are saying or anything like that, but he is unique, and thank you so much. Jenna Lopez, come on up. I have a really good one, but I couldn't say it. Maybe I'll tell you later. But Jenna Lopez, when I think of Jenna Lopez, it took me a second to think about it, but the smile that comes to mind, and every time she has this giggle, and she does that, and she giggles a lot, when she's happy, and it's great to see, and thank you so much, Giggle. Sammy Lopez, come on up. Sammy is Mr. Clean Cut. He has that hair slipped over nice and neat, and is always doing his job. I was thinking about, him and Josh Braun hang out a lot, and I noticed that, and I was like, is it a Batman Robin thing? Is it, I don't know. But when I think of Sammy Lopez, he's suave. Kate McAllister, come on up. So when Katie joined us in her freshman year, she was doing volleyball, she was doing school volleyball, she was doing club volleyball, she was doing band, and she wanted to do it all. And she was by God, I'm going to do it all. And she had some major knee issues, and had to have knee surgery and so on and so forth. And I just remember her fighting through all of that, trying to juggle everything with a great attitude all the way throughout. And her word is perseverance. Thank you. Chelsea Quick, come on up. So Chelsea's is really pretty simple. We went to Disney this past year, and there's a lot of people that are really obsessed with Disney, and it's awesome. I hadn't been there in 20 years, and I'm here, about to get 35. I'm like, Disney's amazing. I want to go back like next week, and so there's a lot of people that really dig it, and I understand why. But she is a Disney tour guide. Jasmine Realme, come on up. Jasmine, this one was pretty easy because almost every single day she walks into the band hall with this big, beautiful smile, and she's just happy all the time, and just like, massive grin all the time. I don't think I've ever seen her really upset all that much. So yours is just simply smile. Great job. Louis Santillan, come on up. By that reaction right there, you're going to understand this one pretty easily. So the mellophones and French horn section have had this long-standing history of, pumping everybody up at rehearsal and getting excited. And even when it's 110 degrees outside and nobody wants to be there, we're on the 4th hour rehearsal. Rah, let's go, and fire everybody up. And so that's what I think about with Louis Santillan. He's Mr. Hype Guy. Sydney Weber, come on up. Sydney has done an outstanding job playing oboe for us and marching alto saxophone. She's done great all 4 years. And I've always had to wrestle a cross-country coach because she's like, we really need Sydney here. We have a meet coming up. She needs to go home early. And she does it all, and she does it all with such grace and everything. But when I think of Sydney is athletes.
And Miss Margaret Burns from Margaret is completely just the opposite person than when I first met her 2 years ago. She was super quiet. I really had, I don't have a memory from your freshman year. I remember from your sophomore year. But she's a wonderful person. She's been very important to the development of this ensemble as I come in and step into this role. And when I think of Margaret, I think of how she's helped the front ensemble, and so her word is progress. Mr. Aiden DeLeon, come on. I've taught Aiden for a couple of years now, and I see him as this young, strong, very passionate young man, but the public perception is that I've got a 40-year-old on my drum line. It became a joke that I would get like, hey, I can't wait to see the Churchill Community College drum line. Because we have the quads in front, and we see Aiden, and it's just this, like, way older than me looking. So when I think of Aiden, I kind of think that the words that encapsulate the year are the beard.
One more time, please give it up for 2019 singers. Before we play our last piece, I'd like to do our senior recognition for the wind ensemble. So the students, as I call your name, come on up to be recognized. Geraldine Aquino. Geraldine is a member of our baritone section, which is mostly dominated by males, and she definitely holds her own in that section, and she is always constantly taking care of all of the students, whether they're in the top band or the third band, whether they're senior, freshman, whatever they need, whatever they're helping out with, she is the section mom. And she does an incredible job. And what I remember Geraldine as is mom. Great job. Kaylee Bowen, come on up. So Kaylee, I remember walking in, small, a little bit shorter than this as a freshman, and we threw a sousaphone on her. She's a tuba player. And we're like, oh my God, I don't know if this girl's going to be able to handle this. I mean, it's probably at least 50 pounds sitting on your shoulder, marching around, doing all that. And we started doing this thing several years ago in summer band where we had a march off. And we would kind of just go, okay, you're out, and whoever's the last man or woman standing is the best marcher. And she has done an incredible job. I'm pretty sure she won Best Marcher the past 2 years at Band Banker or something like that. So when I think of Kaylee Bowen, she's a marching goddess. Rhoda Bowers, come on up. At the beginning of the year, Broden was not in the top band, and he made it very clear to all of us that he goes, I am going to practice, I'm going to prepare, and I am going to make the top band before I get out of here. And he works extremely hard at everything he does. I know he's going to be super successful wherever you're going off to college and whatever you're going to do. Best of luck to you. You are tenacious. Ben Brenner, come on up. Ben, I think Ben really enjoyed the last tune. He's a big Granger fan. He loves Percy Granger music, and there's nothing wrong with that because I love me some Percy Granger music. But we'll get done with Ben. Everybody's packing up, heading to lunch, getting out there in a hurry, and he's over there just kind of playing his bass clarinet to some Lincoln Charter Posey or some other kind of Granger. So simply, he is known as Granger. Ricky Dixon, come on up. I'll be honest with you, Ricky, I can't remember your other Instagram where you make music and do all that. I can't remember the name of it. Whatever it is, I'll find it, I'll follow it. But Ricky is going off to study music and music design and all of those things, and he can tell you more about it. But he's making music all the time on the side. He loves music, very passionate with saxophone and all music involved. So I remember you as DJ Dixon. Josh Ron, come on up. Josh Ron. First off, I never know what Josh is thinking or feeling. He always kind of walks in with like this smug look, and he kind of cracks a smile. But we talk about 2K a lot, and I know my wife hates that. But we like playing 2K and talking about our teams and so on and so forth. And he's very much into video games as well. And so what I think of Josh Ron, he's also a huge Rockets fan. Best of luck. But go Golden State or anybody else but the Rockets. I know. I guess they are a Texas team, so maybe I should vote for them. Josh Ron, you're a gamer. Thank you. Mariah Garcia, come on up. Mariah is another super quiet student. She plays her flute very, very well. She doesn't ask a whole lot of questions, but like I'm getting frustrated or I'm working up there and we're in rehearsal, and I look down at the flute section and she's just always paying attention. She's like so attentive, like just watching, paying attention, writing down notes, just always paying attention. So your word is attentive, and I thank you for that. Joe Gall, come on up. So this is a kind of a two meeting. Joe plays first clarinet with Catherine, and he had some very difficult parts this spring in playing some of our music, and he did an incredible job. But he also is a 2K player, and but he's like one of the only ones that plays my team, which is what I play, and so we talk a lot about that. And he had the courage to play me, and all these guys think they can beat me, and they're like, oh, you're nothing, I can beat you. And they don't understand that I've been playing video games longer than they've been alive. So we played, and he had an incredible team, and I ended up winning, but it was a good game. And then we were playing the second game. He's like, oh, let's run it back. I gotta beat you. And so we're playing, and then my wife woke up, and I was like, Joe, I gotta go. Sorry, guys, turn it off. So we'll finish that second game soon here. But he threw down at UIL some really, really difficult clarinet licks in the music, and he threw down an incredible performance, and he is a baller. Craig Jaffe, come on. He also likes video games a lot, and it depends on the day. Most of the time it's Fortnite, most of the time it's other things. Right now I think it's Minecraft, 2K. But he doesn't play my team, but he plays my player a lot, and he's always talking about, oh, look at the the uniform that I put on my player, the goofy outfit that I put on my player. So he is my player. Kara Kusenberg, come on up. You've probably seen Kara up in the stands at football games, when everybody's kind of chilling, and then all of a sudden you hear this girl just scream at the top of her lungs, and with tons of spirits. She is always around the band hall, helping out in any way that she can, but I'm going to remember her as Spirited. Thank you so much. Katie Martinez, come on up. So Katie interviewed for leadership last year, and she did not get it. And she came in and was like, why wasn't I chosen? And I tried my best to explain, and I didn't do a very good job of explaining. And she just left, and she left, not ugly way at all. She was like, "I'm going to prove you wrong." And I said, "I hope you do." She has definitely proved me wrong. She was an incredible leader this past year. Her leadership skills are above and beyond many, many people that I've come into contact with, and she is definitely a leader. Dana O'Donnell, come on up. Many students know that I am not a morning person. Most of the time, if I get there on time, I come in and I'm grumpy and I just go to my office, close my door. I just don't like mornings. So every time I walk past Dana O'Donnell, she says, "Good morning, Mr. Reese. Good afternoon, Mr. Reese." She's like one of the sweetest people that I've ever met. And she's just always so polite, always so nice. And I thank you for that, and you are sweet. Anthony Page, come on up. So Anthony is a two-time All-State trumpet player. You've probably heard him play a couple of those solos, and you'll probably hear a couple more. He's incredible, and he had a couple solos this past fall in the Marching Band show. And no matter what point in the season, I would hear him play his solo, and it was flawless every time. And I would just turn to people and I'm like, "God, he's so good." It would be late season, it would be whatever it was, and he could just nail it every time. It wasn't easy. As a trumpet player, I go, that's not easy. But I'm going to remember that as being super talented. Gabe Rocha, come on up. I was thinking about saying something, but I'll ask you later. But Gabe is kind of a bro, yeah, all right, yeah, I feel like he's going to pick up his surfboard and go hang out on the beach and do all that. But he's always wearing a tank top, especially in summer band. Always wearing a tank top. He's probably wearing a tank top under that right now. So simply, you're known as Tank Top. Cameron Rowe, come on up. Cameron. I could have easily come up here and talked about, our Midwest recording from last year. That would just be too easy. And I know you care deeply about the program, and I know even in that mistake, I was furious in that moment, but to see, your reaction, I know that you care deeply about this program, and I thank you for that. But what I think about, honestly, the most, you were an incredible drum major, you did an awesome job, but you're an incredible marcher and performer, and so if we have a marching goddess, we definitely have a marching god. Aiden Skinner, go on up. So Aiden's older sister went through the program. She was a trumpet player. She did a great job. I remember meeting Aiden at one stadium rehearsal. I think it was at Heroes, maybe Blossom. Yeah, quite younger, shorter than me, believe it or not, back in the day. And he came up to me, this little kid, I've never really met him, and he said something to the fact of I'm going to be your crew chief someday. And because and so on and so forth. I was like, all right, sounds great, man, cool. And then, I saw him in middle school, and we've gone round and around, and it's there's definitely times where we butt heads, and we have at it. But you're the definition of crew, you're the definition of giving, and you are the crew chief. Abby Stewart, come on. I could have stood up here and talked about how many days we have till regional auditions next year, but you're probably looking at other auditions that are at a higher level. And I know you're going to do incredible work in music. And your devotion to the program, your devotion to music in general, almost in an obsessive way, which is kind of cool. It is, and I thank you for that. But you are undeniably a devoted musician. Thank you. Isabella Tubia, come on. So Izza is a two-time drum major. She has done incredible work. She's a great leader. Funny story is she actually was going to quit band in 8th grade, and she was not planning on showing up, and then we had some kids call her and say, just show up. And then she becomes drum major. She also becomes senior class president. And there's this little term, the jack of all trades, master of none. But that is simply not true for Izza. She is simply a master of all trades.
And Marshall Lane, come up. I first met Marshall when he was a freshman on the Snare Line, and I was still in college. And to be a freshman on the Snare Line is a really tough thing to do to accomplish coming out of 8th grade. But he always impressed me by playing the most difficult books. I was his lesson teacher his sophomore year, and he played solos that were well beyond his years. Solos I couldn't play, I could just help him play. This year, the same thing. He never fails to impress by always wanting to just play the most difficult things and really play them well. It's become a joke in jazz band, but I truly think, I look at him and I ask, how many notes? Emily Moreno, come on. So Emily, I actually didn't know Emily too well because she was in the front ensemble line and I taught the drum line. She's been nothing but surprises and wonderful this year. The relationship she's fostered with some of the younger students of the program, the way they've gotten to see her play, and the relationship that I feel like I've developed as her mentor. My word for Emily is impactful. Thomas Villalobos. Three-year front ensemble member / quad member / last week of marching season this year, bass drummer, because our bass one had to be in California for a wedding. He learned an entire marching show within the last 2 weeks on top of having to perfect his own show for VOA. And he didn't bat an eye when I asked him to do it, which he never does. I can ask him to do anything. I always admire how polite and respectful he is. So when I think of Thomas, I think that he's my right-hand man. Mason Zawacki, come up. He is so infectious. Look at him. Oh my God. He cannot make a mistake without me not being mad, because I just look at him and he's got this smile and this laugh, and he just brings such an energy to the room in rehearsal. And I just think of him and I think of what he brings to the atmosphere. And so when I think of Mason, I think good vibes. So I think we have one final word. Mr. Ruiz, would you come up? So I know some students saw I was bawling back there behind the curtain. I really thought I wasn't trying to, but man, they were just playing so well, and I was just getting so emotional, and I couldn't believe that this was it, and I'm truly thankful for the year, and it's crazy to work with one of my best friends and to have fun every day at work. And so I think, Tony, I love you very much. I know Mr. Sosa loves you. I know Kim loves you. And for us and for this program, you are and will always be a Charger.
On time, 2019 senior.